the county committee's action. Two of those issues that the petitioners have brought up is that there's a greater sense of community identity with North Tustin and the Tustin Unified School District, and that the county committee previously approved a transfer of another North Tustin neighborhood from Orange Unified to Tustin Unified. The map on the left shows the transfer area and its relation to the district boundary. Orange Unified Schools serving the area and Tustin Unified Schools that would serve the area if the transfer is approved are also noted on the map. Tustin's Arroyo Elementary is about a mile further away than is Orange Unified's Panorama School, which is really kind of a community school there. It's named after as I noted, it's Panorama Heights is a neighborhood, and Panorama Elementary School kind of goes with that. Tustin Unified Middle and High Schools are about 3/4 mile closer than our Orange Unified School District. However, we don't see those distances as being particularly significant, especially since Orange Unified provides bus transportation while Tustin Unified would not. As I mentioned, the proposed transfer area is part of Panorama Heights, and as the name suggests, the community is located at elevation. The only access to the community is on the southeastern edge, which abuts Tustin Unified. Again, that geographic feature is not particularly compelling for us. The map on the right is the U.S. Census Bureau boundaries for the North Tustin census designated place. And according to the Census Bureau, the petition area is not within the boundaries of North Tustin as a census designated place. And that gets to the lack of clarity that I mentioned earlier regarding what North Tustin is. But the Orange County maps are a little different, as are Google Maps. But as I mentioned, the boundaries that we are using in our analysis assumes that the petition area is in North Tustin, despite the Census Bureau's indication. So that lack of clarity somewhat diminishes the argument of community identity for us, even though I need to note that the Orange County Committee focused on this as its primary rationale for approval of the territory transfer. And they didn't state that specifically, but through our review of the audio recordings of meetings and written transcripts of meetings, that was a determination that we made. There have been previous transfer approvals from North Tustin area from Orange Unified to Tustin Unified. The most recent was the Rocking Horse Ridge transfer. That's, again, not particularly compelling to us. It was a very different circumstance than what the proposal is here. Rocking Horse Ridge was a new development that was split by the district boundaries, and Orange Unified did not oppose that one. They were neutral on that one. As looking for reasons to confirm the action, you can also consider any reason or concern you want in making your decision to reverse local approval of a territory transfer. Two that we often look at are, one, the territory transfer likely would establish a precedent for future transfers. The transfer removes a student population that has higher socioeconomic status. In our opinion, there are two other areas of North Tustin, the unincorporated area of North Tustin, that would remain in Orange Unified if the transfer area were approved, if the transfer took place. Area 1 and Area 2, they're on the map. The real light red area shows the boundary. In looking at these areas, we believe that the number of homes and the number of students combined in those two areas is less than what's in the transfer area. So we don't see this as a particularly compelling rationale to reverse the action. I will also note, however, that Area 2 there Panorama Elementary School, Orange Unified's elementary school, is located in that area, which would create additional concerns if there was a transfer proposal from that area. As with the earlier examination of racial ethnic composition of the schools that serve the area or that would serve the area, there are differences between those sets of schools, between Orange Unified and Tustin Unified. But again, as with racial composition, the district numbers are much more similar. And as with our racial ethnic comparisons, the point is, would there be a negative effect on what is in the schools, any of the schools? And even though we did not collect information on students in the area who were socioeconomically disadvantaged, English learners, or eligible for the free and reduced priced meal program, given the small numbers and the size of the schools, we do not believe there would be any effect on any of the schools, and especially not at the district. So in summary, our findings are as follows. We find that all minimum standards are substantially met by the territory transfer proposal. The county committee demonstrated strong support for the transfer, 8-1 vote, and identified a reason for its action, the community identity issue that we discussed. The CDE finds, no local educational reason compelling enough to support the transfer, but we also find no educational reason or concern compelling enough to reverse county committee approval of the transfer. So again, using our sports metaphor or analogy, the local approval, in our opinion, should stand. The CDE also finds no effects on other communities that warrant expanding the election area. We recommend, as we mentioned earlier, that the state board affirm the actions of the county committee and establish the territory proposed for transfer as the election area. I know you have a public hearing scheduled. I can respond to any clarifying questions that you might have before then, or we can do that after the public hearing at the discretion of the board president.
I'm on mute. If there are any just factual clarifying questions that you want to ask now, we could do that, but I'm not seeing any hands up. So I think we will move to the public hearing, and then we'll have any additional questions and conversation and discussion thereafter. I hereby open the public hearing at 3:34 p.m. We will first hear from the petitioners who are in favor of the territory transfer. They will have 12 minutes to make their presentation. We will then hear from Orange Unified and those who are opposed to the territory transfer. They will have 12 minutes to make their presentation. After the presentations, we will open up the phone line for public comment from individuals who are not part of either presentation. Petitioners, you may begin.
Hello. Just doing a sound check. This is Marlene Graham speaking.
We can hear you.
Awesome. I am going to share my screen. I do believe we sent it in earlier, but I will hope this will come through.
We can see it.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, good afternoon, Honorable President Darlene Hammond and fellow board members. I thank you for your time, and to just let you know, it is a great honor and privilege to speak in front of you today. I also like to take a second to thank Larry Shirey and the rest of the CDE Executive Office staff for their thorough report. We most definitely agree with the CDE recommendations to affirm the decision of the local county committee to approve the proposal to transfer territory from Orange Unified to Tustin Unified. And we also agree with the motion that they do not expand the area for the election beyond the territory proposed for the transfer. So I will go to next slide. Before I start, I did want to just do a quick minute just to introduce myself. again, and I will turn it over also to my fellow Chief Petitioner, Jennifer Lampman. As I said, my name is Marlene Graham. I'm a proud fourth generation Californian. I had the pleasure of going through all of the California public schools from elementary all the way through high school in my beloved hometown of Montebello Unified School District. And I'm also a daughter of a retired LAUSD teacher from Echo Park. And lastly, my dad would be unhappy if I didn't talk about the fact that he was a immigrant at 17 years old with who greatly benefited from the great programs in California. He came to this country speaking only Spanish from Nicaragua, and has excelled in life, thankfully, to the great education for the California public schools. I am a mother of three, one still in elementary school, and twins in middle school that went through the elementary school at Tustin Unified and is now still on transfer to their middle school. And I bring that up because this is why I'm here. This is why Jennifer Lampman's here. These are children that get to walk to school right now from their homes to their local neighborhood schools in North Tustin. So that's just a little bit about me. I just wanted to give you a picture of my deep roots in California and my deep support of California public schools, because I believe there's nothing more important to family in feeling safe and not having anxiety to question where your children will be able to go to school, and that they will be able to go to school with their friends and in neighborhood community. Jennifer?
Hi, in the interest of our time, I'll just introduce myself really quickly. I too am a product of public schools in California and the daughter of a 30-year high school math teacher, and specifically in Irvine, California. And so I just want to say thank you for all the hard work that you guys do. We definitely understand what a challenge teachers face and the hard work and commitment to the students that they have. So now I'll give it back to Marlene.
Thanks, Jen. So I want to hit on this point most definitely because the idea that we are a community, even though we are unincorporated, should not be up for grabs. We are unincorporated, but we do have many great associations that help make sure that our interests and that we're served through our community as we align. And so the idea is that North Tustin really is I like to call it a secret little gem in Orange County, being unincorporated. We don't have sidewalks, but yet we walk and say hi to neighbors every single day. And with that, it comes with the idea that we probably live in our community because we love that freedom, and we especially believe in the parental rights of our community to have our children go to schools based in our community within walking distance from our homes when they are old enough to walk from home to schools. And as mentioned earlier, there were previous suits that went uncontested before, one in 2012 and another one previously in 2002. Go to the next slide. Just to give you a brief timeline, we started this petition in 2015. We began conversations, or we attempted to begin conversations with Orange Unified. We never received any response. And so, but we did have meetings with Tustin Unified, Registrar of Voters, and we started the process. We collected over 350 signatures, more than the requirement to submit the petition. We went through the entire process, received the approval from OCDE, where we received that we substantially met all 9 requirements. The one dissenting vote was from a current board member from Orange Unified. The appeal process started in 2017. And the reason why I put in the COVID delay, because we don't blame everyone. We have all been on this pause. So we understand the 5-year delay, but here we are 5 years later. And I show this timeline because this is 7 years of commitment from our community. It might be only Jen and I speaking in front of you today, but our vast majority of 459 homes neighbors. We have stayed committed to this, talked about this through every medium that you can imagine, from neighborhood meetings to next door to everything you can imagine. So the point is, we have been committed to this petition. And just really quickly to talk about this North Tustin community profile and our identity with this. As mentioned, it's roughly about 10,000 homes across this large unincorporated area. We are 100% serviced by the county, not from any other city, not from the city of Orange or any other city. It is all by the county. And as such, the census designated area, there are multiple small communities, if you want to call them that. Cowan Heights, East Tustin, Lemon Heights, North Tustin, and ourselves, Panorama Heights, including Red Hill. Our mailing address, my mailing address on the hill and surrounding Panorama Heights area, it is recognized by the U.S. Postal Service as North Tustin. It's what's on my passport, my driver's license, all my mail, and also my ballot that I just turned in. So our diverse community, I want to highlight that too, because I came from a diverse neighborhood where I grew up in Montebello, and I loved it. And when I picked my community to move to next, that's what I wanted to live in an area where we felt we had people from different backgrounds and experiences and provided a rich environment for our families. What's really of note also is the rest of our neighbors, my neighbors that I can touch across the street, are already part of Tustin Unified, 95% of them. Panorama Heights too, and we call it two because what you saw previously in the map, you might have seen the word Panorama Heights and it was cut in half because our other neighbors in Panorama Heights were drawn in for Tustin Unified. So what we're looking at is to unite the last 4% that we represent that is still currently in Orange Unified to be part of Tustin Unified. You saw this map earlier. What this really is a map of Tustin Unified School District boundaries. As mentioned, the 95% of North Tustin, which we are most 100% definitely part of North Tustin. This is the map that we're looking to include. As I mentioned, 95% already under Tustin Unified. We represent the missing 4%. And as in total, the affected students are less than 1%, which is 1/3% of Orange Unified's population. I'm going to turn that over to Jen at this point.
Okay, thank you. Just really quickly, I know we heard the argument by Orange Unified that there would be a negative impact on finances. So we just wanted to highlight what we have been able to find, because obviously that's not our intention, is to hurt anybody in this endeavor. But in looking at Orange's budget for the current fiscal year, they're projecting $341 million in revenues compared to $335 million in expenses, and are actually projecting to increase their fund balance over the past fiscal year. As a finance director for a local city whose budget is sadly only $45 million, I can strongly agree with the CDE's assessment that the transfer of our less than 1% of the territory would not have a negative impact financially on Orange. And in fact, it would be so small, it would be considered de minimis. Same goes for their bonding capacity with the assessed value. I professionally have seen, the reports on the assessed value growth and agree that there would be no impact whatsoever on any bonding capacity in the future, should the transfer be pushed forward. In addition, there was no fiscal impact cited for the previous transfer of Rocking Horse Ridge. It wasn't just uncontested. They actually stated there would be no fiscal impact. And the argument that it was a new development, it actually was built in 1981, but not transferred for 2012. So it wasn't really cleaning up the separation of a new development. It was really, similar to what we're looking at doing right now. And I just wanted to highlight there on the bottom right that some of the projections for declining enrollment, as the CDE analyzed and reported out, didn't come to fruition. They didn't lose as many students as they had originally thought. And even as one of the board members is highlighting, the enrollment is up in Orange over projections, while most other districts are experiencing declines. Next slide, please. One thing also just really quick, we also want to highlight there's a new development in Orange Heights of approximately 1,200 homes being constructed, which should more than make up for development impact fees and also any sort of vacancies. They're going to have a significant amount of students that could easily backfill the vacancies created specifically in Panorama Elementary. As Marlene communicated, our goal of this petition has always been to unite North Tustin. And while, property values increasing are only good when you go to sell your home, and as my son has made me promise never to sell my house, that's definitely not our goal of this petition. And the appraisal that was cited, just to highlight, was done in 2013 under a scope for, determining the chance of success for a proposed bond measure. So it wasn't looking at specific zoning or property sizes. It's not an apples to apples comparison. So given the time frame that's elapsed and just really the big picture scope of it, it's really not, a support tool for this argument by Orange. But really what we want to highlight, the biggest one, is that this is personal for us.
Sorry to interrupt. Your time is up. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this point, we will hear from the Orange Unified representatives, and those who are opposed to the territory transfer. They will have 12 minutes to make their presentation. After the presentations, I'll note that we're going to open up the phone line for public comment from individuals who are not part of the presentation, so they could get ready.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, members of the Board of Education and State Superintendent Thurman. I am Andrea Yamasaki, President of the 7-member Board of Education of the Orange Unified School District. We appreciate the opportunity to present on this important issue that deeply impacts Orange Unified. Our presentation is a summary of the highlights due to the limited time afforded to us today. Orange Unified opposes the transfer because it is a drastic measure that has severe consequences and negative impacts on student education. We encourage this body to scrutinize and to deny this petition. Deference to the 2017 County Committee recommendation is neither required nor just. I am now going to call on Vice President Kristen Erickson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the State Board of Education and State Superintendent Thurman. My name is Chris Erickson, and I was elected to the OUSD board in 2018. My trustee area includes Orange Unified's Panorama Elementary School and Santiago Charter Middle School, which serve students residing in the proposed transfer area. I come also as a proud graduate of El Medina High School and a parent of 2 former Santiago Middle School students and 2 El Medina High School graduates, who I'm proud to say have graduated from college, and one has gone back to serve as a public school teacher at Santiago Middle School. The other is attending law school now. I've been aware of this issue before this committee since 2016, and I spoke as a parent at that time to the county committee opposing this transfer 5 years ago. I found it inconceivable, and I still find it inconceivable, that a tiny group of mostly wealthy people who knowingly moved into Orange Unified School District could force their will and acquire, like a hostile takeover, a portion of OUSD and merge it into another district for no real reason except their personal feelings of identity with another community. This area we are talking about has been part of Orange Unified School District for nearly 70 years. 80% of the students that reside in this area are enrolled in Orange Unified School District school currently. This is a view from Panorama Elementary School looking west up Crawford Canyon Road. The red car that you see is within 1/10 of a mile of Panorama Elementary School. All of the houses you see here have been in Orange Unified since it was formed in 1954. If the proposed transfer is approved, all of the students residing in these houses that you see up here on the hill will no longer be part of Orange Unified School District. This is another view of all of the homes that are currently within Orange Unified looking east. The houses in the foreground will be left in Orange Unified, But all the houses that you see on the hill back there will be transferred to Tustin Unified should the transfer be approved. Here's another view looking west from these luxury homes on the hill that will be transferred to Tustin Unified. Petitioners have not included any of the homes behind these luxury houses in their petition for transfer. The school behind these homes, Jordan Elementary School, and the adjoining houses will remain in Orange Unified. It's clear from looking at these pictures that the petitioners excluded low-income homes from their proposed transfer. This will, in fact, exacerbate the socioeconomic disparities that already exist in the attendance area. Less than 20% of the students who reside in the proposed transfer area choose to attend Tustin Unified schools. Students in Orange Unified already have the choice to attend Tustin Unified through an existing robust inter-district transfer program. The idea that Orange Unified's inter-district transfer process is unduly burdensome is unsupported by the facts. Looking district-wide for the 22-23 school year, there are 401 students attending Tustin Unified on inter-district attendance permits granted by Orange Unified. Further, our process encourages applicants to visit our schools before they make a final decision to transfer. The transfer process in Orange Unified is similar to all of those in our neighboring districts. We all have pride in our educational programs, and we would love for our residents to stay within our district. However, we don't force anybody to stay in our district. Focusing on just the proposed transfer area, there are currently 127 students residing there. 105 of these students, that represent 63 households, or 82.7%, attend Orange Unified schools, and only 22 students, that represent 13 households, or 17.3%, choose to attend Tustin Unified. It would be absolutely unreasonable to force parents of 82.7% of the students in the proposed transfer area to seek transfers back into Orange Unified to attend the schools that they are currently attending. It's important to note that the 17.3% that currently have transfer permits did not seek those transfers because of dissatisfaction with educational programs or opportunities, but rather stated reasons are generally continuing enrollment, sibling enrollment, and parental employment. Like most districts in Orange County, Tustin Unified is also in declining enrollment and is vigorously encouraging inter-district transfers to their school. Tustin Unified has already posted instructions on their website for how to apply for permits to attend Tustin Unified for the upcoming 23-24 school year. So between our robust inter-district granting of permits and their desire for students from outside of the district, there's no problem for those who want to choose to go to Tustin Unified from that area. There is no reason to transfer the entire property over there for just a few students. The forced transfer of half of the Panorama attendance area will result in a cut to teachers and staff and may lead to Panorama's closure, which by all accounts would be tragic, as everyone agrees Panorama is a gem to the community. I thank you very much, and I will now call on Board Member Anna Page.
Good afternoon, members of the State Board of Education and State Superintendent Thurman. I'm Board Member Anna Page, and I'm also a family and community engagement expert and a doctoral student in education. I am proud of our schools. Orange Unified Schools provide a fantastic education, and I know firsthand from being a graduate of OUSD and also having my 2 young children in OUSD. This move to secede is all too common. It is happening all over the country. Numerous communities have seceded from their school districts, and these communities involved were less diverse and had higher property values than those they left behind. This compounds socioeconomic inequalities that plague public schools. I am very concerned that if the proposed transfer is approved, that it will result in an even greater disparity of socioeconomic differences within the attendance area. The CDE acknowledges that some county committee members expressed concerns, noting that the overall demographic disparity between the districts were a little troubling. Members further commented that the proposed transfer, if approved, probably would move those numbers in the wrong direction in reference to the racial and ethnic disparity. It is further troubling that the CDE only compared district-wide socioeconomic data between the two districts when the integrated education environment should be viewed comparing the 6 impacted schools. There's a marked difference in the socioeconomic data between these 6 schools. The 3 orange schools, as depicted in the orange color, serve a significant larger population of students who are English learners, receive free or reduced meals, and are generally socioeconomically disadvantaged compared to the 3 schools in Tustin, as depicted in blue. In conclusion, the question is not necessarily intent, but the impact of this transfer. This transfer would exacerbate disparities and negative impact of mental health of other students and proposed transfer area. This undermines diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts by Orange and the State Board. The CDE makes no mention of these crucial impacts and is out of date and out of touch with reality. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Hello and good afternoon, State Board members and State Superintendent Thurmond. I'm Gunmarie Hansen, Superintendent of Orange Unified School District, and I was previously the Deputy Superintendent of Educational Services. And I did meet with the 2 petitioners at that time in 2017, as well as again when I became superintendent. There are conclusions that are made by the CDE that strongly support reasons why the transfer should not be approved. Unfortunately, the staff report defers to the county committee's decision despite its numerous flaws and omissions. On page 15, the CDE staff report agrees with the academic quality assessments for the Orange Unified School District. And another reason for the denial is that the CDE acknowledges that the county committee took no formal action to identify the reasons for its approval or for the proposal. The CDE also found that the approval was, quote, was prompted primarily by the county committee's determination that the petition had a greater sense of community identity with the Tustin Unified School District than with the Orange USD. The county committee decision was based on subjective beliefs of the petitioners rather than objective factors affecting the community. In fact, CDE found that none of the reasons offered by the petitioners made a compelling enough case to approve the proposed territory transfer because of the following issues. Number 1, lack of consensus regarding the territory North Tustin comprises, which was discussed by Mr. Shirey. The fact that the additional North Tustin territory, and this is number 2, would remain in Orange USD should the current proposal be approved. And number 3, the long-standing attendance from the proposed transfer area at OUSD schools. In all due respect, the CDE is incorrect and should not defer to the county committee's recommendations, which apply an arbitrary standard that there must be a compelling reason to deny the proposed transfer. That erroneous standard does not comply with the Education Code or Title V, Section 18573. Again, the CDE is not a referee and this is not a sports match. The burden, in fact, falls on the petitioners to justify the merits of the proposed transfer of territory. Again, the proposed transfer will have a negative impact on Orange Unified educational programs. Any loss of students from CDE opined that any loss of students from Panorama Elementary School would be gradual and occur over a period of time or years. This is purely speculative. There's no valid reason why Panorama Elementary—
Sorry to interrupt, your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this point, we want to open the phone lines for public comment.